Terrence Pop here, Redarkless.com with another episode from the Lair. And got a couple questions in regards to some young bucks out there thinking of going in the Army. I mean, make sure it's what you want to do. Make sure that what your goal is what you're signing up for, because they'll fucking lie to you, or they'll oversell something that make it sound great and it's really shitty. Back in the day, you know, when I first tried to come in, my first time they tried to sell me on being a cook, and I'm like, fuck that shit. And, you know, I took infantry because, you know, I was young, I was dumb, and I really didn't know what I wanted to do in the Army. You know, at that time, it kind of, I had things I was thinking about, but it didn't work out till after I came in. And I'm going to warn you, like, the first 2 years in the military, period, I'm just talking about my perspective from the Army. You're basically leaving home, you know, your mother and father, or just your mother, or just your father. I don't know what your living situation is. But whatever comfort, whatever advantage you had while living at home is gone. When you go into the Army, they don't fucking care who your father is, how much money you have. They don't fucking give a shit. All they care about is if you can perform and do the job. Just that simple. And some people think it's hard. It's really not. I mean, they basically tell you what time to be there, what to have on you, and what you're going to do. Now, you don't have to succeed at everything you do. You just have to try. You know, to be honest with you, once you get used to that, that environment, that, you know, it becomes a paycheck, and the months just fly by. I mean, I'm telling you, it goes really fast. You know, and you're basically exposed to a lot of people from all over the country, different walks of life. You know, you got the Bible thumper, the rednecks, you got the inner city, you know, hoods and dickbags who are upset because they're black and you're white, and they're always a victim, or whatever the fuck. Okay, I mean, you see the lazy guys, the hard workers, and then somewhere in all of this chaos, you have to make sure you put yourself in a very good position to succeed. Now, I was lucky. Okay, I had some NCOs that were in charge of me from, you know, in the 9th Infantry Division and beyond, who basically did their job. They took care of me properly. And what I mean taking care of you properly is when you fuck up, you know, they're standing next to you, you know, saying, hey, this is what happened, I'm going to work on it, you know. The worst thing that you could do is if you get in trouble and your chain of command doesn't support you at all, and they just send you into the commander's office just to get fucking hog-tied and horse-fucked, okay? Most of the NCOs I had, the senior NCOs I had in the 80s were guys who were crunchies during Vietnam, you know, privates, and they got to see the war from the ground up, and they were fair. I mean, some guys were some evil, spooky motherfuckers. That's what happens when you create a sea of widows and an ocean of orphans. And but they were fair. That's really all you can ask for. It's just treated fairly. So if you're going to go out into the world and go in the military, and if you want to do a trade, go in the Navy. All right. If you want an easy life and, you know, the military, go in the Air Force, because they're very lackadaisical. The only really thing they're super strict on is their height and weight. Okay. If you have any issues with, genetics where you're going to be a fat body, you won't make it. You know, or you could go in there for a little while, but sooner or later it's going to fucking catch up to you. I have nothing but the deepest respect for the Marine Corps, but I've seen the end result of their culture, and it's pretty ugly. A lot of guys got fucked up that didn't need to be fucked up, permanently maimed and killed, because they fight harder, not smarter. If you want to go for action, go in the Army. Airborne Ranger, you can get that contract right off the street. You can go 18 X-ray if you think you can make the cut for Special Forces. But I'm going to be honest, like 98% of the people who take the 18 X-ray option usually wind up in the 82nd Airborne Division as an airborne infantry paratrooper, because they don't make it, and there's no shame in that. Okay, a lot of guys need to go, bake and cook and learn how to do shit for 2 to 3 years, at a line unit, and the 82nd and the Ranger Regiment will teach you all of the basic groundwork that you'll ever fucking need. I mean, if you can succeed in those environments and you were smart enough to make the cut, you can make it up to, you know, CAG and Special Forces and stuff. Okay, that's enough of that. Let's go in here. I got some more 9th ID stories. I had a couple of guys, you know, comment, you know, how come I don't do any Ranger Battalion stories? I'm going to get to those, but, you know, I did spend about 2 years in the leg infantry, straight leg, and so, you know, I have a pretty good perspective on how that shit worked. Okay, now, in the last video, I talked about the amount of roommates I had. And this one particular story is one that really stands out, and it might make some of you creeped out, but, yeah, not me. So, like I said, I was a deuce and a half driver, and if I wasn't, you know, going to the field with my unit, Bravo Company 347 Infantry of the 9th Infantry Division, Yakima, you know, and doing the range complexes or the rainforest, because I was one of the few guys that actually passed the fucking deuce and a half driving test. And a lot of guys fucking failed it on purpose. I even tried to, because I knew I was going to get fucked with this whole thing. So when I wasn't doing that shit, my platoon sergeant at the time, since I wasn't married, would basically send me on all these fucking wazoo extra duties. And like I was getting 1 or 2 days off every 5th to 6th week. It fucking sucked. So on this particular story, I was gone for a week because I was driving in Yakima for 247, which is our sister battalion, and doing their deal. They treated me good. I mean, all I did was drive around and shit, but, you know, that's another story. But I come back, and, you know, I take the deuce and a half back to the motor pool, clean it on the wash rack, get it cleared by the motor sergeant, you know, lock it up, and leave it on the line. And by the time I got done with that, chow hall was open. I went in there and got some chow. So I'm walking back from chow hall. It's in the evening. Out in front of the barracks, there's like some crazy shit going on. Like, dudes are like really upset. A couple guys are like on the verge of crying, and they're taking the shit very serious. So, you know, I run in there. I'm like, what the fuck's going on, man? What's everyone freaking out about it? And they're like, Pop, man, first sergeant just moved this one guy in there. And he's a devil worshiper, and he's living in your room. Now, I don't remember the guy's name. He was not there that long, maybe 2 weeks. And I'm like, okay, I don't care, fuck it, you know, it doesn't bother me. I'm you know, I believe in God and shit, but, you know, I really have a hard time believing anybody's going to summon up the devil. You know, I thought maybe the guy's fucking around, wants to get discharged from the service, which is totally believable. He was at another platoon in my company before this, so there's other follow-on stories about the devil worshiper. So I walk up there and open up my fucking door, and you know, in the middle of the fucking, you know, common area, because there was a bunk on each side, and then the bathroom's over here. He's got this fucking pentagram with white fucking sand, black candles. He's sitting in the middle of doing his fucking thing, and people are freaking the fuck out. Okay, I mean, like, some of these Bible thumpers are fucking taking it, like, really serious. Like, over the top. So, my bud, you know, this is my room. I was here first, so there's some ground rules. I go out and I get the push broom, and I just fucking sweep all the fucking sand and black fucking candles over in his area. And I'm like, hey, fuck you. All right. Anything you fucking summon up stays on your half of the goddamn room. All right. I'm going to use the bathroom. And then I'm fucking putting out a tape line. Half is mine, half is yours. And if your shit comes over on my side, I'm going to fucking destroy it. Do we have an agreement? You know, he's like going off at the mouth. He's going to curse me and shit like that. I'm like, dude. If you fucking keep talking like this, I'm going to fuck you up real bad. So either you agree, or I'm going to throw your ass out and you can go live somewhere else. So he reluctantly agrees, right? And, you know, I mean, this guy was fucking into it. He'd, like, write notes to the devil and cat blood and burn them in his fucking little thing and stink up the room and shit. You know, and we had a couple little bouts about that shit. But, you know, I pretty much, you know, told him that, you know, we'd constructed a fucking pentagram form on a fucking 4x4 piece of plywood with, Elmer's glue and sand. And, I'm like, look, here you go. Here's your little fucking Parker Brothers fucking devil worshipping altar. You just slide it under your fucking bed. You don't need to put fucking sand on the floor because it's fucking up the buffer, buffing the floor and shit. I'm not having it. So, he did his deal. And the first sergeant called me into his office a couple days later, asked me if I was doing okay with this guy. I said, he's fine. I don't give a shit. He's like, he worships the devil. I'm like, no, first sergeant, really? He's worshipped the devil. Okay. I don't care. So, he was there for about, in my room for about 2 weeks. Then he fucking went AWOL for like a week and a half. And they caught him. And then they sent him to the re-education battalion, which they used to do back in the 80s. Instead of like kicking you out of the army, they would send you to this re-education battalion where your life was living hell for anywhere from 4 to 12 weeks or even longer, depending upon what you did or didn't do. So he didn't come back to my platoon after that, and he did come back to the company, I think a month and a half later. But I'll go over on another fucking story. But I live with a goddamn devil worshiper. And, he would chant these things. I think they were Latin. I don't fucking know. And he'd burn these notes to the devil. And he said he wrote them in blood, but I think it was cat's blood or something. I don't know. Because he didn't have any cuts on him or anything like that. So, I don't know. All right. And then, when you're the new guy, everyone fucks with you. That's just the rule. So when I show up there, I'm like 18 fucking years old. 18 and a half. And I'm the new guy. So they fucked with me, told me I had to go feed the game goat, and I carry this fucking bale of hay 2 miles up to the motor pool. The motor sergeant tells me the game goat's fucking truck, and fuck you, get that out of my office. I had to carry it back 2 miles back. They tried to get me to fucking look for the prick E8. That never fucking happened. I caught on to that. Or I need a box of grid squares or a can of squelch. Or it got me one time, and it was a good one. Everyone laughed, but I had the guy Crowley in my platoon, big guy, black guy. He's like 6'4", 240, 250. Just fucking, scary big guy. And I was only, I was like 5'8"-ish. I weighed maybe like a $152 max. I mean, I was a tiny guy. And we had a little snarl, he and I, up in the platoon area. And I fucking told him to fuck off. He was fucking with me, and I guess got pissed off. Now, I didn't really know how strong this guy was. He was fucking crazy fucking strong. He snatched me up, picked me up over his head, and then brought me down on my back on the ground. Boom, knocked the wind right out of me. And he's like, I'll fucking kick your ass. And I'm like on the ground, and I know I'm defeated. Okay, got it. You can't win them all. All right, he had 100 pounds on me and about 6 to 8 inches in height. Nothing I could do. All you can really do when you're in a situation like that is try to save some face. So I hold my hand, my finger up, like, give me a minute. I kind of crawl over to the window, and I pull myself up. I'm like, all right, Crowley, now I got you where I want you. And he just looks at me, he goes, fuck you, Pop, I'm getting some chow. He walked out. And apparently I earned a little bit of respect because he never fucked with me again. Never. We were cool after that. And we used to play poker, usually on Friday or Saturday nights. And there was some practical joke bullshit going on, and there was something going on between Crowley and was a guy, I thought we called him Ganesh Bish or whatever, blonde-haired guy, I don't remember his name. But Crowley, you think he's Mr. Big Badass, a scary guy. But apparently he's got a thing for snakes. I didn't know this. So I'm sitting at the table, I hold my cards. Crowley is right here. The door to the room is about 9 feet away to our front, maybe our 11 o'clock. And the door opens, and I only see, like, at a corner of my eye, but Ganesh Bish throws this fucking rubber fucking snake on Crowley. Like Crowley's holding his fucking shit. There wasn't even a squeak, anything. It just fucking lands on him. Crowley's like, and he fucking passes out. He fainted right there on the spot. Cards went down, his head hit the table, boom, boom, hit the ground. And we were so fucking, just awed and shocked, this whole thing. I look over at the guy next to me, I'm like, did that just happen? That just happened? He was out for like 3 minutes. He had a big welt on his head. I mean, he fainted like a bitch. So every fucking thing after that was fucking snakes with Crowley. We threw him in his sleeping bag, put him on his rucksack, you know. He fucking we got him over that fear, but he gets pretty upset about it. And we did the same thing to the first sergeant. I had fucking put the rubber snake in his top drawer of his desk, and I had forgotten about it because I was on CQ the night before. So I'm walking through there because I'm gonna go. I want to get the keys to the weight room, like the platoon weight room, and the first sergeant opens his drawer and sees the fucking snake. God damn! Jumps up. And he was mad as shit. He fucking smoked the shit out of me, but it was worth it. Okay, here's another one. This is another fight story. I didn't really do well. And this one leads into the crazy fucking punishments that used to be in the old army. So I'm new to. I've been in the battalion or the company like 3 weeks, maybe a month. So I got past most of the fucking shit with my own platoon fucking with me, and there were some other guys in some other platoons. But we had a brigade day, which was really just too big, and it was at I think they call it American Lake, which is up there in Fort Lewis. And you know, they're like, okay, you know, you guys aren't 21, but hey, you can have a couple beers. So I'm like, okay, I have 2 or 3 beers. You know, I'm not really a drinker, so you know, I am fucking 3 sheets to the wind. And this other guy from another platoon, and one thing led to another, and we got in this huge fucking fight. Now, back then, I really wasn't a good striker. I wrestled in high school, took a little bit of martial arts and stuff. But this other guy, you know, he was, you know, I would say much better than I at the stand-up game, because he tagged me a couple good ones. And we went around for a while. Like, I'd pick him up and slam him, and I'm trying to fuck him up on the ground, and he'd squirm up and get me a couple shots. I grab him and throw him on the ground. And in the process of this going on, because nobody, like, back in the day, they didn't really break it up, like, right away like they do now. Like, everyone gets all, oh, press charges. No. Look, this is an infantry brigade, infantry battalion, company. This is straight leg infantry. These guys get trained to fight. That's what they do. It happens every time you add alcohol to the story. IQ goes down to like 20 or 30, and people fight because they're fucking young, dumb, full of fucking cum and testosterone. Throw alcohol on that, and boom, it's a fucking fist fight. And everyone wants to see it, you know? But apparently, during this fucking melee I was going through, I had knocked a master sergeant into the main fire, and you know, he caught on fire. They rolled him out right away, so it wasn't really too bad. But hey, what are you gonna know? And then we kept fighting. We went over on the dock, or he wanted to push me into the fucking lake, and I grabbed him, and we spun around, and my elbow hit this chick, and she flew into the water. Now this is brigade commander's wife that I just, you know, got bounced into the fucking lake. I wasn't intentional. Me and the dude were fighting, and after that happened, they broke it up. I think we're fighting for about 4 or 5 minutes straight. All right. So it's all fun and games until the brigade commander's wife gets knocked in the lake. So, you know, we had to fucking stay there and clean up, and then we went back to the company area, and then we had to go up to the battalion commander. And the battalion commander had already drafted up like 2 field grade Article 15s. They were going to bust me down to like nothing, because that's only like an E2, which is, you know, like beginner private. They would have broken me down to like E1, which is sub beginner private, which is no big deal. You know, half a month's pay for like 3 months or some shit. And that's a pretty significant thing. And luckily, you know, my platoon sergeant, he's a good guy. He had only 1 fucking tooth in his head. He was Lair. He was in the 9th Infantry Division during Vietnam. He had like 1 fucking tooth in his head. Just a good guy though. So we're getting yelled at by the fucking sergeant major, and everybody called him Mung. You know, he's like Mung Ho, whatever that is. I don't know, because apparently they were one of allies during Vietnam, and the battalion commander and him had a fucking thing from back in the day. So my platoon sergeant's like, "What's the big fucking deal?" You know, I fucking knocked the brigade commander's fucking wife in the lake. He's like, "And was she hurt?" "Oh, she was wet." I'm like, well, Sergeant Major, sir, getting wet is not really the same as getting hurt. Yeah, she got knocked in the lake. Okay. These are infantry guys. They train to fucking fight. We give them alcohol. They're gonna fucking fight. That's what they do. That's their job. So, Sergeant Major's, giving him the nod. He goes, I'll tell you what. Release him to me. I'll punish him. And I'll handle it at my level. Because if we do paperwork at the battalion level, it's going to stay in their fucking file, possibly for the rest of their goddamn lives. And I don't want one of these guys 20 years from now who not getting promoted to Sergeant Major because he was 19 or 20 years old and got into a fucking fist fight at a family day picnic. Are we really going to do this? Sergeant Major. He's like, he barely talked. He was a cyborg. He's like half titanium and plastic plates and shit. So, we get released to my platoon sergeant, to punish us. And we did not get Article 15. Me and the guy I was fighting, I'm not going to say his name, we had to saw up 2 telephone poles. They were old telephone poles that they had left at the back of the motor pool, had been there for, 2 or 3 years. And we had one of those fucking crazy lumberjack saws, the 2 guys, and we had to saw these 2 telephone poles into 1 or 2 inch thick wafers. Alright, so the first day we pretty much burned through both telephone poles. I had no skin on my fucking hands. I was fucked up. This sucked. And then we had to take one of these wood burners and burn an apology into each one of these fucking wafers. All right, and then we've gotten the fucking GSA fucking vehicle for the company, drove to everyone that lived on post and delivered one of these apologies to the family that, hey, sorry for fighting and fucking shit up. Let me tell you, that took a good 4 fucking days, and it was pretty fucking psychotic. And I remember the fucking battalion sergeant major would come over the hill and he'd stand there and be smoking a cigarette, just watching us. So apparently he was cool with it too. And that was a pretty fucked up one. And I had a couple other run-ins with that platoon sergeant in regards to getting punished. And he had a thing called a dummy hole. So if you did something stupid, which, the first 2.5 years you're in the Army, you're probably going to do something fucking really stupid about every 60 days. So he would give me the fucking shovel and go out there and dig me a fucking dummy hole. I have to go out back and dig a 4 by 4 by 4 fucking hole. It would take maybe 3 hours. And then I would come out there, he would come out there with a pad and paper and I'd have to write down the stupid thing I did and then fold it up and throw it in the hole and bury it. It's some kind of symbolic thing to fucking, you're an idiot, fucking dig a hole, think about what you did. Anyway, it worked fucking pretty good. Alright. And this next one, you guys are going to love this one. That one first sergeant we had, it was a month and a half later. We went up to the Yakima Firing Center to do our, we go up there 3 times a year and do a rotation. It's a big training area on the other side of the mountains, and it's prairie, kind of dry, cold as fuck, and it's just boring, shitty place. So on this particular night, we're out there bivouacked. You have the fucking shelter half and the pegs and poles and 2 guys live in a tent. Which is okay, I guess. But they came up to dig the shitter, and they used a backhoe, and they dug it just a little bit too wide. And they had a bank of 8 shitters, and they wouldn't fit on the hole. So they had to put these 4 by 4 and 6 by 6 beams across the hole on there so they would stay up there. Now, if you weren't really careful, you'd have to step off. It's a good 2.5, maybe, 2.5 feet. You have to do a little hop to jump over the hole. If you don't make that hole or that jump, you're going to fall into the trench with all the shit. So, it's about 11 o'clock. I got to go take a dump. It's cold as shit, windy as fuck. I'm walking up there, and, I couldn't hear him because he's in the hole. But I walk up there, and I got the flashlight. Apparently, the first sergeant didn't quite make that jump because he's on the shorter side. And he was standing at the bottom of the shitter looking up. And I remember, I put the flashlight on. He's like, get me out of here. And I'm like, I ran back to the GP fucking medium. And I'm like, hey, the first sergeant fell in the shitter. Everybody and their mother ran up there. They're taking pictures. They threw a rope down there and again. Holy shit, that was funny. And the very next night, again, it was windy as fuck. It's 9:30 in 10 o'clock at night, sun went down. I go up there to take a fucking a piss. And it is noticeably windier than it's been the entire time. And I just happen, I'm sitting there taking a piss in the fucking funnel, and I look over and I see the HQ entire GP medium just fucking fly off into the darkness. Just gone that quick. Everybody's fucking running around. Papers are everywhere. Fucking shit's blowing everywhere. I was laughing my fucking balls off. And I watched all this pandemonium. Man, I would have paid money for that shit, but I got to see that show for free. All right, anyway, that's my time, gentlemen. I hope you have a good evening, and take it easy.